The 2025 Baseball Hall of Fame class has been announced, with 3 legends from the Diamond getting enough votes to be inducted. One of those grew up right here in our region. Joining me today, former MLB pitcher, 7-time All-Star, and incoming member of the Baseball Hall of Fame, Billy Wagner. Thank you for joining me, Billy. First of all, how does that sound when I say that, Hall of Famer?
Well, Kenny, thanks for having me. It's always good to be back on the show, but it's I don't know yet. It's still hard to put Wagner and HOF and see that when I walked through the hall and had my first glimpse at that. You're walking in there with some people that you grew up just idolizing and seeing how awesome they were, and now to have your name up there with them, I mean, it's still not easy for me to see.
Let me tell you, how nervous were you waiting on that call? I mean, you had to be like a long-tailed cat in a room of rocking chairs. I mean, this past week, waiting on that call to come in.
Well, it was difficult. I mean, there's a long buildup of just waiting on that moment and being so close last year, and now fighting for that, that last, couple of votes. But, it was well worth the wait. It was very emotional, as everybody knows. But it was well worth the wait because, going in is bittersweet.
10th and final time. Did you need this to validate your career?
No, nobody needs this to validate their career, but but when you sit and you look at what who's in that Hall of Fame, it's just that cherry on top. There's always that acceptance factor. I don't know if that how you validate or even go about saying you deserve to be there or whatever. I was never very good at self-promotion, and so. I'm glad there was 82.6% of the people thought I should be.
Let me ask you, there are not too many relievers in the Hall, especially left-handed relievers. That make it even more special?
Well, there are so many ways. When this started really to come to, fruition that I was going to make it and I get the call, there are so many things that popped up that I was going to be the first left-handed reliever, the first out of the state of Virginia, the first Division III. So yeah, there's a lot of firsts for me that I don't think I looked at or would have known going into this whole thing. But I represent a lot of things for a lot of people, and when you look at Southwest Virginia or the state of Virginia, I think kids can look at it. I'm not a big guy. I think it just it shows the possibilities that dreams can come true.
Let me ask you, did you dream of this moment as a kid? I mean, and as you just mentioned, what does it say for other kids from Southwest Virginia about following their dream?
I don't know if this was something I was dreaming about when I was a kid, because I was, being from Southwest Virginia, football pretty much rules the roost. So, I think what allowed me to really have that dream was Coach Peary and a lot of the coaches and people giving me the opportunity and seeing a talent that I couldn't see. But I think as I got going and my career continued to blossom, I think those were moments where I was like, man, it started just to get drafted. Then it was just to get to the big leagues. Then all of a sudden things start to get a little bit bigger for you. But I don't know if anybody can dream of being a Hall of Famer, but I think, when you get this close and stuff, how real it becomes is really just will leave you speechless, because I don't think when you look at 277 people in the Hall of Fame and, you're one of them, I think it'll leave you speechless.
That's unbelievable, especially when you think about how many people have played this game since it started. Billy Wagner from Southwest Virginia, congratulations once again, headed to the Hall of Fame. You deserve it, buddy. Thank you again.
Hey, thank you, guys. It's good to see you guys.